I've never done anything I feel like that puts them in any sort of a risk that most families in the state of Washington, every campsite we've been to in the last month have been almost completely booked out or sold out because everybody's out this time of year.
He was a decorated Army veteran, a father of 3, and a man trusted to spend just one night with his children. But by the next morning, those 3 little girls had passed away, and their father was gone. Travis Decker didn't just disappear. He planned it. He searched escape routes. He packed survival gear. And now he sparked one of the most chilling manhunts Washington State has ever seen. Today we're walking through the complete timeline of a situation that shattered a family, exposed a system, and triggered a desperate search for a man who may be living off the grid, armed, and dangerous. This is the Decker Sisters Manhunt. Hello everyone and welcome back to Lindsay Unfiltered. My mom told me about this story and the subscribers seemed to have some interest in it, so I decided to do a little bit of digging. So the purpose of today's video, I'm going to give you guys a comprehensive timeline from beginning to end on where we are in this Travis Decker case. If you guys don't know, Travis Decker is accused of unaliving his 3 young daughters. Scandal, true crime, conspiracy with a twist of humor. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into the story. Travis Caleb Decker was more than a father. He was a 32-year-old U.S. Army veteran, having served from 2013 to 2021, including a deployment to Afghanistan. Trained in survival and navigation, he later lived off-grid in rural Washington. In 2022, Travis and Whitney Decker divorced after a decade of marriage. Whitney, his ex-wife, was granted primary custody of their 3 daughters, Peyton, 9, Evelyn, 8, and Olivia, 5. Court filings from September 2024 revealed troubling concerns about Travis's mental health. Whitney's attorney noted struggles with isolation, paranoia, PTSD, and borderline personality disorder. As a result, Travis's parenting time was limited and only within the local Wenatchee Valley, no overnight stays. Despite restrictions, court audio and eyewitness accounts show Travis defending his role as a loving, active dad, insisting the girls were always safe, citing family camping trips where he took them since they were in diapers. But behind this image, his situation grew unstable. Homeless, living in his truck or campgrounds, and unable to find steady work or mental health care. His ex-wife said the system failed him and left him unsupported. Now that we have a fundamental understanding of who Travis Decker was, now it's important to walk through the timeline of how we got where we are today. Let's start on May 26, 2025. This is when Travis Decker searched on his computer how to travel to Canada, how to move to Canada. According to a U.S. Marshals outlet, Decker was looking up, how do I move to Canada on the 26th? Nothing wrong with this due to the current regime in the United States. A lot of people might want to move to Canada. A lot of people might want to move, so there's nothing suspicious about this until the 30th comes around. When we get to May 30th, 2025, alarm bells go off after Decker was to meet with his daughters for a planned visitation. After Decker did not return with the girls at 8 p.m., Whitney Decker, the girls' mother and his ex-wife, called the police and said that it was out of the ordinary and she was worried because he was dealing with some mental issues at the time. According to the police department at the time, Travis was homeless and living in and out of campgrounds and motels. From what I can understand, Travis had severe untreated mental illness, right? On top of that, he did not have a stable living situation, stable medical treatment, or any of those things. But he still wanted to prove to the world he was a good father. But on May 30th, things took a drastic turn for the worse. On May 31st, 2025, the girls still hadn't shown up. So the police released an endangered persons report for the young girls, saying that they were thought to have been endangered and not able to return on their own, trying to get the public's eyes open and aware for this. No one quite saw what was coming next. And just a few days later, after no word from Decker or the children, on June 2nd, the young girls were found. On Monday, the police said that they had canceled the endangered persons report. At first, they didn't say immediately why they'd canceled it. During a press release, the Wenatchee Police Department shared that authorities located their father's car near the Rock Island campground in Chelan County, Washington, and found Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia had passed away. Travis was not located at the scene. Fox 13 Seattle goes on to say that his vehicle was found with handprints nearby where the girls' bodies were located. The outlet also reported that various personal items are found inside, including blankets, food, car seats, and a wallet. Travis's cell phone had also showed that he drove to and left the same campground a day prior to the kidnapping. So here we have a devastating turn of events, but Travis Decker is nowhere to be found. So then a manhunt ensues.
Thank you everyone for being here tonight and the outpouring of love that you have shown me and my family over the past few weeks. I truly hope that the legacy of the girls' lives lives in everyone's heart forever. They were incredible.
Just imagine how that mother feels. She wants her daughters to be happy because she knows they love their dad. She knows her ex-husband has some issues, and she probably feels bad for him as well. She lets Travis take the kids for a little while, and this is the result. I can't even imagine how she would be feeling right now. I don't know how she's still standing other than she's an incredibly strong woman. This is just devastating to so many people on so many different levels. As we move on to June 3rd, now that we know the girls have passed, we're talking about a manhunt ensuing because Travis has officially been charged with 3 counts of first-degree unaliving and kidnapping. But the thing is, they have no idea where Travis could be. The police said they are willing to look under every single rock. They will leave no stone unturned until they find Travis. The chilling part about it is that the police department is believed to have 0 leads. He could be anywhere in the nation, they say, or he could have even unalived himself. On June 5th, we hear from Whitney Decker's lawyer for the first time. She tells us that there were no real red flags when it came to Travis's relationship with his daughters. He loved his daughters a lot, and Whitney Decker feel that the system failed Travis. The system didn't give Travis the mental health assistance he needed, and if the system did care for Travis the way they should have, their daughters would be alive today. The lawyer said that Travis and Whitney were able to communicate as friends, that Travis appeared to have love for his daughters. This is a direct result of his neglected medical help. He accessed the veterans' resources but was unable to receive help. Someone who fought for our country. Think about this, a service member who fought for our country, saw things the likes of us could probably not withstand to see and continue to live a normal life. Most people wouldn't be able to deal with what service members that go into combat deal with and come out unscathed. And what Whitney's lawyer is saying is that had he been able to access his VA resources, he'd be better off for it. But yet he was homeless. He was not treating it. These people go and they dispense their lives for war. And then they're treated as if they're disposable. But then again, on the flip side of the same coin, I do believe that if Travis Decker wanted mental health assistance, he could have reached out for it. Just because you went to war, the system isn't going to pick you out of a lineup and say, let's check on your mental health. Let's do these things. You have to want to get better. And did Travis want to get better? I'm not sure. Was he just outright denied resources? I'm not sure. At the end of the day, the suffocating of your own children is heinous, reprehensible. The mental health system in America is faulty. especially for veterans and men and people that are supposed to be strong. They don't want to expose those insecurities. They don't want to expose those inconsistencies of the mind that everyone deals with. Everyone deals with these things. I think it's just a combination of not wanting to accept you need help and the system too fucked up to even want to help you or pay for anything. Like I said, guys, therapy can be $100 to $200 to $300 an hour. It depends on what insurance you have, but if you want to see the private, the best of the best, you have to pay to play. You have to pay to not die. You have to pay to not be sick physically, mentally, and emotionally, okay? And the next day on June 6th, Whitney's lawyer comes out again and says, we don't even think he's alive. He probably ended himself somewhere up there, and he just has not been recovered. But police say they're going to look under every rock until he's found. We go to June 8th, and the Shelling County Sheriff's Office says we need help. We have exhausted our resources. We want to reach out to the federal level to get some help. They say we had reached a point where we need to rest our local resources. Our command staff continues to be engaged with the search command while we give our teams time off to rest and recuperate and be ready to join the search for and capture the suspect. Okay? Authorities are asking anyone who has seen Travis to call 911 and do not attempt to approach him. You can call the tip line if you do happen to see him if you're in the Seattle area. We fast forward a little bit to June 9th, and on the 6th, the girls had an autopsy done. The cause of their passing was determined to be suffocation, and the manner is homicide. They were found with bags over their heads. A GoFundMe has been set up to help Whitney Decker deal with the costs and the anguish and the pain, and hopefully it's able to help things go easier for her in terms of costs and financial burdens. I'm sure she will take time off of work. She doesn't need to deal with working right now, because now her mental health needs to be put first. This amount of money, some people may say, oh my God, $1 million, but it will never compare to the feeling that she feels right now in this moment. There will never be enough money to compete with how that woman feels in this moment as you watch this video. On June 13th, 2025, chilling new details emerged from a court affidavit involving Travis Decker. His ex-wife, Whitney Decker, painted a picture of a man spiraling, battling mental illness, and living without stability or support. She told investigators that Travis had been homeless, recently cited for driving without insurance, and had fled the scene of not one but two separate car accidents in May. On June 2nd, the day the bodies of his 3 daughters were discovered, Travis never showed up to work. His boss confirmed that he'd been showing concerning signs of mental distress. Whitney said Travis often exerted control in disturbing ways, waking her by screaming in the middle of the night, randomly disappearing, and refusing to follow the court-ordered parenting plan. He had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder before their split, but according to her, he wasn't taking his medication. Just days later, on June 17th, a court audio from a 2024 custody hearing was released. In it, Travis pleads with the judge, insisting that he was doing the best he could to be a present father, taking his daughters to paid campsites on weekends, despite being homeless and living out of his vehicle.
I came out into the civilian world and tried to figure out a way that I could live as a civilian. I didn't have family, I didn't have friends, I didn't have any support, especially coming to a state where I didn't have anybody to lean on or a couch to go sleep on. So when we initially went through our divorce, I went and put the uniform back on full time so I could support myself and support the family through the first big transition of dad not being at home anymore. Once I fulfilled my year obligation, I talked to my chain of command and stepped down from full active duty and transitioned into, my contract ended in December of 2023. starting over is hard, and I'm starting at the bottom, and I've got a long way to go, but I don't think that it should restrict the time that I get to be around my daughters.
We're not trying to take these children away from Mr. Decker. We respect and appreciate the fact that he loves his kids. That's obvious by the fact that he's attending their events. It's just important that they have this consistency in their lives.
Since I have been gone, every time I've had the girls, we have been in campsites in national forests and paid campsites that have campers. We've never done anything that was unsafe or anything I wouldn't want to put myself in. I understand that my current position when I'm by myself isn't ideal, but my daughters aren't a part of that. I only get to see them over the weekends, and camping is something that the four of us have done since the three of them were in diapers. I've never done anything I feel like that puts them in any sort of a risk that most families in the state of Washington, every campsite we've been to in the last month have been almost completely booked out or sold out because everybody's out this time of year. When I stepped away from the National Guard, I was making $86,000 a year, and now I make, I think it's like $38,000 a year. So when you start over from zero and you don't have help in a hand to get you through it, it makes it a little more difficult.
A lot of things I need to consider when I look at the best interest of the children is stability, and that's not stable. It's not stable having them in different places every time you have them. That's concerning to the court, regardless of whether it's in an RV, whether it's in a tent, whether it's in Airbnb, whether it's at a hotel, a motel. That's not stable, and that's always a concern for the court.
After hearing all the facts, I can legitimately say the system has failed again when it comes to the mental health of Americans, when it comes to the mental health of veterans and men in particular. The system has failed once again. There should be parameters in place to where this shouldn't have happened to this family. Travis Decker is no saint. Okay? Travis Decker had the free will to seek help. Travis Decker knew he was suffering. Travis Decker knew he was at the end of his rope. Yet Travis Decker chose the wrong way to deal with his anger and frustration towards the system. He chose the wrong way. Therefore, he should be punished within the fullest extent of the law. But it's unfortunate because we do know that healthcare costs and the way that veterans are treated and the way that healthcare costs are so high, people have to hide in silence. People have to pretend like everything is okay when it really may not be okay. Think about people right now like Travis that have no insurance or left the war and don't want to be helped. We as a society should be funneling our time. We as a society should be funneling our resources into the mental health of Americans instead of all of these other things that make no sense that we worry about in our country today. Okay. A slogan going around in American politics right now is America First. Making sure your citizens are of sound mind and body is America First. But yet we focus on so many outer things. That's when incidents, rare incidents, this is a rarity now, but it could have been prevented. I'm with Tiffany Decker's lawyer. It could have been prevented. The system failed Travis, and Travis failed his daughters. And now you have a mother that will deal with this pain every waking moment she's on earth. And the system just keeps on moving as usual. In my humble opinion, I don't think Travis Decker is alive anymore. And if he is, when found, he is going to encounter the police in a way where he won't be alive anymore. It seems as if, from hearing the clip, he wanted that time with his children, and maybe in his mind, with the mental illness that he's dealing with at the time, he's thinking, the court is trying to take his kids away from him. They don't want me to see my kids. They don't want me to see my children. Something was off there on that day. Constantly having to prove himself and be beaten down by a system that he helped support. That's rough. But he didn't get the help. But it was on him to say, you know what? I need help. It's as easy as picking up your phone and dialing 1-800-273-TALK. That was Travis's responsibility. It's a sad story. I'll be following the developments on this case. If you guys respond well to it, that means like, comment, and share. I will do an update. It was an interesting case. I've been working on it, doing a lot of research, but all in all, sad story. For more true crime cases like this, I'll be around. This has been Lindsay Unfiltered.